Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I have all my 5-star reads and I'm gonna tell you all about the books. Not all of my 5-star reads are on here because some of them I don't have the physical copy with me, but I'll be getting them soon and there will be a part 2 of this video. And this is the stack. The stack is pretty long because I give 5 stars way too easily, but this is actually not a lot for all the books I read in my life, just saying. So let's get on with the video. So the first book is Hating the Player by Rebecca Genshek, and this is the second book in the Campus Wallflower series. This is about Gavin and Violet, and they go on a camping event with their friends until Violet realizes there's only one tent left and Gavin just randomly appears. And they're both kind of fighting, like, no, our friend said that was my 10. And they keep bickering. And eventually, they just fall in love. And yeah, I loved everything about this book. Also, she's this fashion student, and you also see her wanting to win a competition her teacher organized for her class, and he's a basketball player, and it's a college story, and I really like Rebecca Genshek's books. I really recommend her books a lot. So that is book number 1. Then, of course, I have Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. This is a book about the story of Psyche, where she is born while her father thought he was gonna have a son, but instead he had a daughter. Eventually, he wanted a son because he wanted to make a warrior out of his son. But then he was like, okay, I have a daughter. Might as well make her a warrior. And he did. He did that. And you see her growing up, becoming a warrior, doing all these quests, and it was so amazing. And it is a love story between Psyche and Eros, but because the warrior kind of quest she has to do, the romance is on the back burner, and you don't really see the romance in this book, which I really like, because recently I haven't been liking romance stories as much as I did at the beginning of my reading journey. So I am really happy I got to read this at the beginning of the year. So the next book I gave 5 stars is Wicked Mind by Bianca Moff. This is a dad best friend romance, dark romance book. But you might think dad best friends, isn't that kind of weird, Laura? Well, let me tell you, she is actually pretty much an adult. I don't know how old she is, but she's not that young. She's an adult, so that's cleared out. But what I really liked about this book is that the romance wasn't like, how do I say that? There was not a lot of smut in here. You would expect from the cover of this book, if you're a reader, you would expect from the cover of this book there will be a lot of smut. But there wasn't at all. Like, I think there were like 2 or 3 chapters that was smut, and that is it. It was also kind of a slow burn because it is 400 pages long, and it takes them 200 pages to get together or actually confess to each other, or like 300 pages. And there are some things happening with her father, and the ending broke me. Like, it broke me. That was such a sad ending. But I really recommend this book if you're looking for a romance with not much smut, with a dead best friends romance trope, with a emotional trope, like comfort trope. And this is actually because I already had my bookmark in here again because I wanted to reread it, but that is for next year. So the next book that I gave 5 stars is Burnout by Rebecca Genshek, because girl, you better read her books, because wow, this book was the second book I ever read from Rebecca Genshek, because the first book I read was Tutoring the Player. That was the book, and that was the first book in the Campus Wallflower series. But then I saw this book, and it was about a motocross rider. If you didn't know, you may know if you look at my TikTok, I am a big motocross lover, but I am in my sad era because I have to wait till March till motocross is finally on TV again, and I am really not excited for waiting till March. It's December. It's been gone. It's been the winter stop has been since October. I've been waiting a month and a half and still I have to wait till March. Anyways, let's not talk about that because I can ramble about that for hours. And actually, I was like, okay, it's my favorite sport. Will I like it? I don't know, because I was kind of scared stepping into this. And I actually liked that Rebecca did the sports justice. She didn't say anything bad necessarily. Like, if you know me, I am a big throttled hater by Lauren Asher because she made seem that the drivers from Formula One were actually some horny little shit pricks, and that's not true. So yeah, you would know that if I was gonna start this book, that I was like, okay, I'm scared. But she did the sports justice because at the beginning of the book, the character thought that Knox, the motocross rider, thought he was a playboy, and eventually was like, okay, I'm not. And then she was like, okay, I actually realize he's not. And they also, I haven't told you guys this about what the book is, and it's actually about a gymnast, and that is Avery. Yeah. So Avery is a gymnast, and then you have Knox, the motocross driver, kind of thing, rider, I don't know. Anyways, so they meet each other at a show because he is kicked out of his team from the motocross world championship. He's kicked out, and then he goes to his friends, his old friends, and he goes in their team for stunt driving. And then Avery and Knox meet, and his friend is a boyfriend of Avery's best friend, and he's like, okay, I want you to get trained by Avery because we're actually not really good at doing tricks and stunts. And Avery's like, no, I don't want that. So eventually they actually train together, and then there's kind of like sparkles. This is Slow Burn, and I liked it so much. Nobody knows this about me, but I am a big slow burn romance and fantasy book lover. I love slow burn. I want to have them hold hands for like in 100 pages of the book, like 100 pages of not talking or hating each other, then after 100 pages holding hands, and then after 300 pages like the first kiss. I love that. I love the tension. I love everything about slow burns. And this is actually if you want a good slow burn with bickering and enemies to lovers, you will really like this. The next book I have is Equal by Trish D.W. I cried so much reading this book. Like, this book makes you cry so much. Trish really broke my heart with this one. So I have to read the rest of the series, but I am really scared to continue because I've tried continuing with the second book, but it's breaking me even harder. Like, that book is so sad. It's even sadder than the first one. Like, that is not great. No, it is great because this book is great. It has a sad trope. It has dystopian. It has Greek gods. It has, half Greek gods. It has humans. And this book is about a prison where the humans stay till they're 18 years old. And the day they turn 18, they are set into an arena where the Greek gods have to fight for them to win them. And they can use them as their whores or as their warriors or whatever. They can use it for everything they want. And eventually, I think it was Ares that won So the character is, I don't know the character's name anymore. I'm kind of confused. It's been long since I read this. So eventually the female main character goes, this is Greek god's house. But the Greek god wants to kill her because the Greek god is known, if he takes a woman with him, he kills her after one night. And he was about to kill her, so he cut her wrist. But there was not only red blood coming out, there was also gold blood coming out, both intertwined, and her wound was healing really fast. The Greek god that took her was really scared until another Greek god came to save her, and yeah, that's it about. The next book is Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and I read this in one day, and that means I really liked it. Like, do you know when a book is so infesting and you just want to continue on, and you do, and eventually finish it before midnight or even before dinner, and you're like, oh, I finished it. Like, what the hell just happened? That's exactly this book. And it is a thriller about a writer and a couple that comes to live in the writer's house, but it seems haunted. Some things were happening. There were noises. There was no like Wi-Fi, no signal. There was nothing. Like, it was so creepy. And eventually the plot twist, I'm not gonna tell anything. The plot twist will have you in a chokehold. Like, what the hell? This is wow. The next book I have is Twisted Games by Anna Huang, and this is the second book in the Twisted series. And this is about Bridget and Reese, and I don't know if I have to explain more, but I'll explain a little bit for the new readers here. This book is about Bridget. She's a queen. No, she's a princess, and she has to become queen because her brother stepped off. Kinda. And then she has a bodyguard, and she falls in love with a bodyguard, but she has to marry another person of blue blood, but she likes Reese, so she's like, no, I don't know what to do. So then her and Reese are actually trying to convince her father or grandfather to actually let her marry each other, or let them marry each other, and that he becomes the king of Eldora. Is it Eldora? I don't know what the kingdom was called. Was it Eldora? I'm not sure. The next book is Twisted Lies. This is the fourth and last book in the Twisted series. This is about Stella and Christian, and they just kinda, Stella has a stalker, and Christian is bound to find her stalker and protect her until something completely changes everything and they hate each other for like a good 50 pages. Eventually, they're happy ever after. The next book I have is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. This is about a pirate, and I don't remember a lot about this book. She just kind of has to get on another ship to search for something. I don't remember what she was searching for. And then there's this like kind of slow burn, kind of weird guy that she just, I don't know. It's a YA. There's no spot in here, and that was amazing. But I really do not remember anything from this book. The next book I have is Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and this is my second favorite book ever. Like, this could win, but Equal always wins, so I just, yeah. This is about, what's her name? Jude. And she lives in the human world, and then eventually she goes, I don't know exactly what happens, but she goes to the fairy world, and then there's Carden, and Carden is a literal bitch in this book, and he just kind of like bullies her, and then things happen. That's all I can say, because I don't remember anything, or not a lot. Then I have The Predator by Runix, and I don't know anything about this, except that this is about mafia, and a woman and a man that hate each other but eventually fall in love. That's all I know. And he's obsessed. That's all I know. The next book I have is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And this is about Patricia, and she has been feeling weird things happening in the village. A woman randomly dying. Someone biting off her literal ear. The same woman that died the day after. That was happening. And then there's randomly a new man in the town. And she starts this book club, and eventually she says, like, I have a weird feeling about this man. And everyone in the book club, it's like, oh no, he's just a nice man. Don't worry about it. He's nice. And they can convince her because she starts playing nice until her man speaks to her about it. Like, I don't trust this man. And then eventually things happen. A lot happens. And then they found out what he is. Man, that is a little bit weird. That man is weird. Then I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. And this is about Emilia, and her sister goes missing. And she wants to find out until she comes in contact with Wrath. And he is hideous. He's literally so awful. She said, and no, she didn't say that, but that's my word. That's my interpretation. And she doesn't like him at all. But he says, I'm gonna help you find your sister. And he does. The last book on this list is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I finished this yesterday, and I am really happy I finished this. And all I could say about this book is that it's northern mythology. It's about Vikings. It's about killing. It's about wars. It's about childs missing. A group of people that kill men, that kill women, that kill people, and they have to find it. That's all I can say about this book. Anyways, those were all the books I read. No, those were all my 5-star reads so far. I also have a lot more, but there is going to be a part 2 of this video because this video is already getting too long because I can't stop talking about books and I need to stop doing that. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video and I'll see you all later.